You want another statement of the guy's name of that they left that was taking up money from business owners for to add for security? When I first moved out, uh, I would go in businesses, their phones would go off, and they'd say, "Her ex-husband's a real asshole. He did what to her?" "Yeah, Craig, I'll help take up money. How much you need? 500 for the night to add for security to drive around and make sure she's okay? Sure, I'll help." And nice, sweet business owners would donate. I was horrified and embarrassed. So the guy that was scamming business owners out of money was named Craig. Okay? I don't know, but people mentioned him several times around me. This whole thing is nothing but a scam. I took some things out to my one client's house. Went down and got Burger King in there. I could see all the big trucks driving around me, playing the last tape. Do you want my statement? This is it. Do you want my statement? This is it. And then they scatter because it's not funny what they did. It's the agent out of the area. His daughter, I went in, daughter doing this to me, and they're drug dealing friends. They're sexual predators, child molesters, and they're running a big drug scam down here. That's what's going on. And they're selling police information, defrauding the federal government of the Witness Protection Program money, and then stealing it from the victims and putting it in their own dirty pockets and their own drug dealing friends. And they're selling pornography to children and showing it to them and sexually molesting them. I'm telling you that even teenage kids across my clients on Turquoise Street, we all know they raped her, and that was wrong. And them showing that rape to little girls, it is child molesting. Well, it was child molesting them showing it to those teenage boys under 18, too. See, people aren't thinking, and then they let their kids go out with drug dealers. That's where it's phenomenal. They bought me a cell phone today. Will did. See, people don't realize. They look at, other people are like, today I went in Dollar General in Louisville. I'm sitting there. I said, "Can I vent to you for a minute?" I said, "Is this weird?" I was talking about when I had dinner with that one guy. And that guy walking by and saying, "I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here." I'm like, okay, I don't even know who you are. Okay? And he keeps saying stuff. They're like, "That is weird." I said, then I went out to eat with this guy. And I said, the first time he wanted to know everything about my ex-husband and his crazy drug addict girlfriend that her dad's an agent. And the crimes they did to me. And she just looked at me. I said, the second time, I said, we go out and then that guy's there and there's other guys sitting around. I said, he's drilling me to the point I'm stuttering. I told her how they kicked in my door after he broke my teeth. 3 days later, we hadn't been up there 6 days, and then said they set up buying cameras watching me. She's like, "That's illegal." I said, "I know." I said, and all of a sudden I got these bruises, and I was telling her about it, and almost passing out, and then they were date rape drugging me and telling me to say stuff and abusing me under drugs. And everybody knew I was almost passing out and all this other stuff, and it wasn't happening before. And she's like, she's crazy. That new girlfriend of his is crazy. I said, "I know that." I said, "I went to Faith Family Church," and I said, "She come in, young blonde girl, my dad's FBI, I date Dave." And then, she was talking about all kinds of stuff in front of people and admitting she watched me on the toilet. She's like, "That's highly illegal." It is. It's a federal crime. She was stalking me and sexually predating me and then bragging she had me. I didn't tell her they had me raped. She's a sexual predator. They showed it to children. She's a drugger, kidnapper, and breaking her dad is over the case. Huh? She's like, they can't do any of that. I said, and she said, "I'm glad you're smart enough to realize that they can't do anything like that, and it's not you, it's them." It is. It's them. And she said, "You'd be surprised who ought to fall for it." I said, "I know." And I told her how they stabbed an animal to death, that I asked Steve to get all the trash, and I found it my walking way. I said, he would knock over the trash and jump all the way. I said, he wouldn't stab it to death. I said, they literally stabbed it to death and threw it where I walked. I said, she's that mentally ill. She's like, "You be safe." I said, "I blocked my door." She's like, "I don't blame you." I said, "They were breaking in. I was waking up with giant bruises everywhere and everything." Everybody knew it, and I was almost passing out trying to mow the lawn. I wasn't like that before, and all kinds of stuff. And I said, that was them doing it to me. She's like, she's the one mentally ill. I said, so is her family and friends. They're messed up in drugs. And I said, and that thing with that guy, having me meet him for dinner, the first time he drills me for like 4 hours, but he was nice about it. The second time we go out there, some guy's walking by, hey, I'm at the bar. I'm like, okay. And we're sitting at a table eating. And he's like, hey, I'm over here. I'm like, so? People come in, she's sitting over there with him. I don't even know you. Then there's men sitting around talking, or sitting around each side of us. And he's drilling me to the point I'm stuttering. About what about this? What about that? What about that? Like he's some kind of investigator quizzing me. She thought it was my ex-husband sending his friends down there to run a big, see what I had on them and quizzing me. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It was a scam from him and his crazy girlfriend and drug friends. Probably was. It's not funny. It's not funny. They ran all these scams down here and to pay off their drug debts that he actually opened a protect-a-like case. Police department's mentioned it. Yeah. See, I called the FBI hotline. Have an agent call you back. Try to tell him what happened at Huntington Bank, bullied me into saying I was lying when I wasn't. Did you ever go back and talk to the banker that opened my account? Did you talk to the mail banker standing next to him that yelled at the Pizza Hut lady, blonde lady, for getting paid to stalk me, then walking off with a tall white man with black hair? Well, he's the one that just sort of kind of threatened to knife me, and I got away from him. And she was the one standing there with him. Huh? Did you ever go talk to him? Huh? People that can't do their jobs don't need their badges. One thing that guy said, I told him how he bullied me. He's like, he can't talk to you that way. No, he can't. And he said, you do realize he's just a hired cop, right? I said, I do. Federal Bureau of Investigators. He can't talk to me that way. You have a right to privacy in your own home. Be safe and secure. You have a right to remain quiet. You have a right to a fair and court and speedy trial. You have a right not to be mistreated. You have a right to an attorney to represent you. You have a freedom of speech. Do you know you have a freedom to worship whatever God you want? Do you know you can read a book? You can read newspapers. Did you know you can send your children to school? Did you know you can have news? You have freedom of press. Do you know you can carry a gun if you're a law-abiding citizen? You have all kinds of rights. It was set up that way over 250 years ago, that the government and no one could hurt. I'll tell you what, I was in Dollar General. I was talking to that girl about them kicking my door, date rape, drugging me, saying they photoshopped shower scenes, and that girl admitted to watching me on the toilet and in the bathroom. And then they had been laughing with people. They put a shower scene in the other room of me washing, make me look weird, and they date rape, drugged me, and told me to say crazy stuff. And she's like, she's mental. That girl is mental to do that to you. Mental. I said, her and her drug friends are not funny. And she's like, they can't do any of that. She said, I'm glad you realize they can't. And we're going on and on and on in that how psycho she is. Okay? I go up to Dollar General. Some lady walks in and says, Giant Eagle, I heard some of the stuff going on. They can't do any of this. No, they can't. See, even the police have come up to me when I talk to them that even the FBI couldn't be in your home outside a protect-a-like case with statements. It's entrapment. They get thrown out. I looked into the law. They can never even look at it because it can be altered. It can be photoshopped. Like when they admitted they braced people out of rooms and everything else. It's entrapment. They have been loud and proud with their crimes and their big scam they're running down here. And that they hurt me. I'm not their only victim. They have raped me, tortured me, drugged me, almost killed me. They showed videos of it to children under 18. Boys, girls, and a lot of them as little as 5. They took them off by themselves, showing them, and then they bought them big gifts, knowing that their parents are so stupid, knowing they were drug dealers. Gave them their own babies and let them show them pornography and hurt their little minds. And did they date, rape, drug them with amnesia drugs so they wouldn't remember that they were molested? Will's not funny doing this. Will took me out today. Will made it up to me today. Huh? I got a cell phone. Do you know even my clients have heard it? Huh? And other people in stores. And like the people across from my clients on Turquoise Street, the young teenage kid, we all know they raped her. That was them child molesting those teenage boys, showing it to them. It is child molesting them, showing that to little girls. It was child molesting them, showing it to those teenagers. Huh? That agent cannot bully people into false statements, badgering Department of Justice 1729. After him and his drug friends had drugged me up and so that I wouldn't think straight and wouldn't hang up on him and do what I was told. Huh? And he can't bully me. And even the police, the Canton police know it. November 24, 22, in Mercy Medical, they were talking about that Eric making fun of him for falling for this, where he already confessed everything was him before. November 18, 22, 2 to 6 p.m. at Walmart 62 by the hair salon under tape and audio. That all the tapes before were him and not me, ha 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 ha, laughing like a jackass for everybody to turn on me. The nurse was talking to the Canton officer. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. No one should say a word to her again. And then this is at November 24th, 22. At Mercy Medical, that nurse is telling the Canton officer that. And said, well, you know, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. I found out those men run experiments on her, and they need to realize how not funny this is. No one's actually said anything bad about her before, and she better not have permanent damage. Okay? That's how not funny this is. Okay? The Canton police already know that the agent that called her back was the one that told her on the church. And Stark County Sheriff actually witnessed that it was him. He went up there to set up this big hate crime with Paymer, didn't he? Mm-hmm. That's why he was up there. Because Dave already knew he was dating his daughter, Michelle. He's the one, him and his drug friends are the ones that kicked in my door. That's why he bullied me into a false statement, made me plead for my life, then opened the witness protection program with all the things that come in it for my statement only. And then bullied me if I try to tell someone that he lists me crazy, no one to help me, so I'd stay quiet and be too afraid to say anything. That's still badgering, and he can't put that in a court order, honey, because no sitting judge would sign that court order, put somebody in witness protection with those kind of things on it. They can't add to the law and can't take away from the law. The law is just for your statement in the case the government's looking into, that they agree to protect you for the rest of your life. Sorry. No, I'm not. It is. And then you get put in there, and they agree to protect you, give your money into diplomatic immunity. You can't add to the law, and you can't change it. Okay? You can't. And he can't list me crazy. He's not a psychiatrist, and he can't put a gag order on me. He's not a sitting judge, and no sitting judge would sign something that took away somebody's constitutional rights and lose his license, and then he go to jail for it. For every constitutional right broke, it's 1 to 10 years. Conflict of interest is 1 to 10. Embezzlement, withholding any money meant for one person or misdirecting it to another person, is embezzlement. Department of Justice S641. Embezzlement is a severe act of theft. Under 100 is up to a year in prison. After 1,000, 5 to 30 years in federal prison. And then drugging somebody's 20 plus. They raped and tortured me in protected custody. Showed it to little girls. They human trafficked me. And they showed it to teenage boys, showing that they think they're some kind of badass drug dealers down here. In it with a rogue agent and his psycho family. Running a big drug scam down here. And the poor pathetic wife that the husband was trying to kill before so he could get everything, decided to help him out and make this big drug scam. I've never been questioned or wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. Nothing. There's not even an accusation. In protected custody, that agent's daughter, Michelle, became friends with my ex-daughter-in-law, had the kids make up some mean games of pretend, and they got caught on police surveillance on Thanksgiving of 18 that they wanted a house for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. And then to my other granddaughter, Flora, they were making everything up. And as the Maslin police put it, documented mean games of pretend. and it was wiped out before it started. And where my ex-husband always said I had men walking around me, I had men and ladies, and they were walking around my whole family to find out what's going on. They already caught him telling them to lie and everything else. Sheriffs know they lied. Back in 18, all the cops does. It's called Karen Around the House or Karen's Wall. FBI case, September 27th, 18. Now, we're going to put it this way. There's nothing. They lie to people. I had charges. I don't even have an accusation. See, I was telling that girl in Dollar General that. I told her what I do for a living. She said, you can't even have an accusation. I said, I know that. They just lie to people for their low IQs. I couldn't even keep working. That's how stupid they've used these damn fools around here. They have gave them their babies to take out. Will made it up to me today. Will bought me a cell phone. Little 5, 8-year-old. It's sick they raped her. He showed him the rape. He likes to show babies rapes. Teenage boys said he's such a badass. He's laughing the law hasn't arrested him yet. Nobody's this powerful. Nobody is. Nobody is. And then where that Alex, Will's son, Alex, white-haired guy with his hair part on side that Dixie seen, Darlene seen him. Shoot, John even seen him. In that Minerva Grinders in the back corner. Okay? He admitted that on December 21st, 2018, that he was the one that was holding me down after I was kidnapped in my kitchen. I had got a shower, got a house coat on, went to get a grape juice out of the refrigerator, opened the refrigerator door, and I was stabbed in the neck. Foggy, hazy, dark, bright light. Felt myself cry. It was him that was holding me down. And I woke up 6 hours later, had marks all over me, bruises. There's a white comb on the dresser, on Dave's dresser. And he's accusing me of having an affair. I didn't know what happened. I have a permanent dent in my back of my head, where they bashed me in the back of the head. By January 4th to, I don't think quite to the 12th, I met my ex-friend Darlene at Bob Evans. And he's sitting with a group of guys. He said, you idiot. You idiot. You left her comb over there. He said, I had almost a naked lady laying next to me. You're lucky I only combed her hair. He's admitting that he was part of the kidnapping in my kitchen, that he was holding me down while they were assaulting me. And I was undressed. Okay? The dirty perverts, and that's Will's son. You know why Darlene and I are ex-friends? I tried to tell her. She would always make comments, as crazy as Dave was about you, and he didn't like men to talk to you or even look at you. I'm surprised he didn't try to kill you before he let you leave. And I'd brush it off. Well, I tried to tell her that he actually did try to kill me. She got up and ran out of the room. Told me to tell the damn police. That's why we're not friends. And she couldn't handle it. And it's something. Then I have friends like Tess. It's like, if you go out to eat with me, you could get hurt. I'm not afraid of these people. I said they raped me and they tortured me. I'm not afraid of these people, Karen. And she said, she's like, I've punched, she said she's punched guys before. She said, well, and she's like, I am not afraid to be seen with you, nor am I ashamed. That's a friend. Those are the kind of people God gives you. That just because somebody did something so horrible and so awful to you, they know it's not your fault. And they're not ashamed to be seen with you for being a victim of these horrible bastards. Horrible bastards. That Michelle was in Faith Family Church. My dad's FBI. He works the case. I date Dave. She admitted she had me raped. She thinks she can have anybody raped. She is a sexual predator and a serial rapist, and so is that agent out of this area. I called the FBI hotline. I called the FBI hotline. I lived in Portage County. I Googled who's over. It's Akron. And Will called me from the Stark County FBI task force in the Canton courthouse. Way he talked to me, I didn't even believe he was real. And I thought he was a Looney Tune occult person. And I Googled him and I found him. And a lady was yelling out stuff at the answer the phone when he threatened to kill Dixie and the baby. Well, he's got a list. I'm working on it. I found him. He's very much real. Police officers mentioned the case that he opened, and then he stole every dime from day one and put it in his drug addict friends that are child molesters and like to show pornography. He has victimized me and children in this area. And I am not his only victim. He is a very sexual predator and he is a serial rapist. And people need to get down here. Large men have showed up and are walking around me at places and they're looking at me. It's not funny. They were in Walmart last week. I go in and the one guy, okay, I was talking to this one guy, Michael, about a year and a half ago online. And it started getting really weird from a retired doctor to buy into an oil field and all this crazy stuff and then connections to bad people. Okay? Well, my client lived at Oakland Apartment on Cleveland Avenue. And people were down there because they sold a log and talking about the case. They're talking about Strange. They're talking about all of a sudden a mob lord, a mafia, that they're mad. I'm like, why would they be mad? You know what I mean? And then they told the maintenance man December 9/21 all the tapes before were them and not me. And it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. Okay? Everything's dark and photoshopped. And a bunch of bad trucks are driving by and they were actually out here looking at the building that I live in to buy it. And they're out there bragging last week that that agent stole the money and paid them to follow me and harass me. Loud and proud outside. They took embezzlement money from the government. Well, they were driving by screaming stuff down in that apartment building, harassing me because they thought it was funny to stalk and menace. Okay. Well, then my client and I go to Sheets on Whipple. People have been driving by before they started announcing that it was all them and not me, because then all of a sudden it's not funny in these stalking tapes. They shouldn't have found it funny in the first place. Everybody knows better. Everybody knows better. They should have been horrified. They've used like a massive low IQ people of how stupid can people be to fall for this. Okay? So this guy, my client had anger issues. He's a big guy. And he's go to order something. Some guys come in and said, yeah, right, you're a child molester. He clenches up his fist. I'm like, stay out of it. And then some other guys, no one's to say anything to her about what's going on here. I mean nothing. See, I'm just a pawn. I'm just a fucking pawn. My client got out there. He said, I was going to punch those guys. If they wouldn't have ran off, I would have punched them. He said, they won't even say as if. No one will say a word to you. Okay? All right? Well, that guy last week was in Walmart. I walk in. There's this like 350 pound man. He's walking around. He's smiling at me. I looked at him. I said, hi. He said, hi. I look over and there he is. The guy that said no one better say a word to her. There he is. He said, did anybody say anything to her? He said, no. He said, good. He said, do you want to go talk to her? He said, no. And I thought, why don't you just come up and say hello? You sold the login. Who are you? And there's been other large men, if I go into a different store, come in and look at me. And teenage kids were complaining the other day. We all seen those large men show up down here. None of this is funny. And we all know nobody actually said anything bad about her before. And none of this is funny. And they were standing outside the gas station later on. You know, then I got to thinking, in May of 21, okay, well, it was fall of 21 when that guy showed up. Some girls were at a gas station. Oh my goodness, Kurt's going to kill her. He found out all those kids were lying. Okay? And I thought he's slow, right? Because I knew on Thanksgiving 18th, the police have been telling everybody to stay out of this. It was just mean jokes for years. What are you talking about? Well, I wonder if that's Kurt, because they used him as a pawn, like they've used me. See, some old man came up to me. The first month, I woke up with a big bruise on my leg. Came up to me in front of investigators at Walmart. For every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn it on you. You try to leave Dave, I'll list you a child molester. He works for my husband at the time that's trying to kill me. And this is their plan, okay? He said, you know that bruise on your leg? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I use sodium pentothal on you. Now you lie under sodium pentothal. It's lethal and outlawed. It's Spy Flick movie stuff. And he's like, You know what you told me? No, I said never seen him before. He's admitting to breaking in my bedroom and stabbing me in my sleep and telling me to say this crazy stuff. That I was supposed to be wearing this one nightgown years ago and they accidentally seen my butt and I had a life of pain from it and da 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 da. And I got away from that freak. I went home and I'm like, Dave, I always wore the grandma nightgown, underwear, and house coat when the grandkids were over before. He's like, I know that. All I got sweater and a house coat when the grandkids were over. I know that. I said, besides a grandma nightgown and some laces. Mm-hmm. I didn't even own them. He's like, I know that. An illegally booked house. See, like one of the guys that helped watch me. We found out some old ass was drugging up Karen before. See, this was their whole stupid plot and plan, thinking that they could just call me a dirty word and I'd cry. Like a little girl and they'd be okay. And then I'd fall for it. Oh, they could say they photoshopped a shower scene and I would be afraid to say something. Or, oh my goodness, they drugged you up with it where you're sick and you're throwing up and dizzy and almost passing out. They date rape drugged you and told you to say something stupid. So you go to jail for that. No, that makes me a victim. Like the guy that helped sign the paperwork for my car. Oh my God, they victimized you. Oh my God, they victimized you again. Oh my God, they victimized you again. Yeah. Now, of course, confession is admissible. I've never had Miranda rights. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. I've never even been questioned of wrongdoing. I was beat, raped, tortured, July to September 19th, between 1 and 3:30 in protected custody. And they show that to babies. Someone needs to stop. And people need to realize how funny that agent from out of the area messed up in drugs and his child molesting friends doing this. Because when you show pornography to babies, you are a child molester. I'm not their only victim.